What piece of advice would I give someone to instantly change their life forever?
That you need to give some thought to. It's almost an unfair question because, I mean, what do you say to somebody?
That's a hard one. Like, what could they implement immediately aside from like, hey, you need to work out. Hey, read this book.
Mm-hmm.
What could you do? I mean, my advice. I look at what had changed my trajectory, and it goes back to a book, reading the specific book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson about looking at inventorying my habits.
I'm going to write that down. The Slight Edge?
Yep, I can send that to. I've got it on.
Please.
Yep. That's the book that I wasn't a reader, and that book, it's like, okay, if you read 10 pages a day, it'll fundamentally change your life. I'm like, okay, my life sucks. I can read 10 pages a day. I don't like to read, but one common, I inventoried all the people that I'm like, okay, these people are kicking ass.
Yep.
These people are happy. I looked at all my leaders in the military. I looked at people outside the military. One commonality, they all read. I'm like, I hate reading. God, do I have to really read?
Yeah, likewise. Right. Same way.
So I asked one of my mentors, and he gave me the book, The Slight Edge. Start with this one. Right? If you read 10 pages a day, it'll fundamentally change. That was one of the things that just nugget that stood in my head. Like, okay, I'm going to commit to reading 10 pages a day. And I still do it to this day. Almost nearly every day, I'll read 10 pages. It's no wonder it's part of 75 hard. Read 10 pages a day is one of the tasks.
Exactly.
I don't know. Read 10 pages a day will transform your life because you're going to run into something life-changing.
Yep, I agree with you.
One book can fundamentally change your life.
Oh my goodness, 100%, man. 100%.
And you start reading a few books like that. And here's the trick. Or here's a for those who don't like to read. There are so many books out there. There are millions of books that have been published, but you never have to read a bad book in your life because there have been so many good books. Just ask people what their favorite. That's why I love this question, because I'm like, I have this whole catalog of books that I haven't read because they're these people's favorite books, high performing people's favorite.
I know
books.
That's true, man. You can post those, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to, and I'm going to read them. A lot of them I haven't. I've read a lot of them, but a lot of them I haven't. So if it's been profound to you, like, okay, these are books that I want to read, because every time that I have read one of these books, it's been phenomenal. And another pitfall is like, hey, you don't need to read a book cover to cover. If it's just not jiving with you, throw it away. Go grab another book. Yeah, you don't have to suffer through this book, because then you're going to hate reading, and you're going to equate all books to the shitty book that you're reading, and you're not going to read anymore. Well, okay, if it's not, sometimes you can just skim through it. I don't read every word on every page. If it's just not pinging with me,
So
if
you find one good thing that you can implement in your life, it's worth it.
Absolutely. That's all it takes. That's all it takes is a couple things. Like I said, one good book will fundamentally transform your book or life. So I guess that would be my habit is
that's the
start
one thing,
reading.
Yeah.
Read 10 pages a day. I guess that would be the one thing. Because you can read 10 pages in about 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't take very long.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the other thing, Jay, too, is, and this is a difficult one because you do need to build some trust with the person you're working with. But I find this, and people usually break down inside. They might not show it when you say this, but one thing that can change somebody's life is when you say to somebody, and it sounds cheesy, but you're special and you are enough. You are enough. You don't need to worry about self-esteem. You have something special to offer. And if you can convey that message to that person, they usually break down because they need to hear that. Yeah. And the fact is, I can say that to anybody and find good things about them, and they got to run on those strengths as opposed to continually beating the shit out of themselves mentally.
A lot of people just don't think that they're measuring up, and they're holding themselves back because of it.
Big time, man. Big time.